Hey everyone. So today I am talking about mind, body, and spirit, and it's the combination of all those three things, those three items, those three ideas, those three notions. So I had this idea, like you know, way back in the beginning when I started these episodes, that I wanted to just tell people and teach people the things that I've learned over the years, because the things that I've learned have helped me immensely in terms of my happiness and my well-being. So, we'll talk about the mind today, whatever. In this episode, we'll talk about your body and your spirits and how they all work together. So usually when I produce these videos, I have a whiteboard, I write my notes on the whiteboard, but now I'm going to go with the energy of where this talk is meant to go. So it takes some faith and it takes some trust that I know it's going to turn out the way it's intended, because I'm always guided by spirit, and as I just start talking, this amazing sun came like right through the trees, and it's shining on this side of my body. So I'm going to talk about mine first. So they're telling me that I meant to talk about the body first. So I went through a metamorphosis in this last year. I talked about this in some of my videos, how I joined a gym, and I found myself again in the gym. I've always been a very active person, but I found, due to my lifestyle and the person that I was with, I didn't exercise anymore. And so after a while, of course, if you understand that if you want to have a leaner body, your calories out have to be more than your calories in, right? So you have to expend those extra calories. So if you have extra weight on your body, it means that you're not releasing those calories, right? But I found through my journey working as a past life regression hypnotherapist that weight isn't always energy, in terms of calories in, calories out. It can be emotional, it can be mental, and there are reasons why some people will pack weight on. I know I did, because I had a very sedentary life. I quit exercising, and when I used to exercise, I would go for an hour, because I know what my body is like. I know how many calories I have to expend, or how much energy I have to put out in order to maintain a size. I don't weigh myself generally. I do if I go to the gym. But so I know what my body likes now. I know how it likes to exercise, and this is something I talk about with my coaching clients if they choose to go the physical route and they want to tweak their body. So we talk about what kinds of food that they're eating, how do they feel with certain foods. I get downloaded messages for them and hear what their body needs, what their body wants, and what their body likes to eat. So I tell people, if you eat something and after you finish eating it, you feel drained, you feel exhausted, your body is working really hard at processing that food. So I think 6 months ago, I turned to a primarily vegan diet. My only weakness is, yes, butter. I put butter in my coffee and coconut oil or MCT oil, because I like it. The fat is really good for your brain. So if you have put fat in your body in the morning, it actually helps your brain. So if I don't have the MCT oil, coconut oil, or butter in the morning, I'll have an avocado. So I make sure that my brain is getting fat so that it can function properly throughout the day. If you are starving if you think fats are bad, you're wrong. Not all fats are bad. So there are some really good fats that your body and your brain especially needs, because your brain is actually primarily composed of fat. And I have told this before to my viewers, and I want to thank you for watching this. I really appreciate you watching this, and I appreciate my subscribers on YouTube. If you take in that fat, your brain actually needs it, and it helps your mental capacity. Okay, so as we age, a lot of people don't understand that your food really determines how you age, and it determines how your mind ages. So if you feed your mind these healthy fats, avocados, avocado oil, flaxseed, ground flaxseed. Did you know your body can't process flaxseed? You have to grind it. the seeds don't get, they're impermeable. So the same thing happens with, beans and whatever, but I'm getting off top track. So back to your brain. Your brain, obviously it's part of your body, but your brain is driving the bus, right? And if you don't feed your brain properly, you will suffer and you'll feel like, oh, you can't concentrate, you're exhausted, you have fatigue, you don't know why your brain doesn't work very well. And I have worked as a teacher for many years, and I don't anymore because I'm not enjoying it, so I changed, right? But I noticed that the children's brains are suffering, and I was seeing what they were eating, and it was not meant to create excellent brain health. So I've mentioned, read that book, Genius Foods, and if you really like it, buy that book because the author talks about what kinds of food your brain needs, and even talks about different exercise regimes you could have. So you don't always have to go to the gym, and if you don't like going to the gym, these are other things you could do. So your body is so sensitive to what you put into it. So obviously, if you're having a weight problem, it means your body wants to keep that weight. It could want to be protected. It could want to be safe. It could want to be like not seen and visible. And I noticed that when I was larger, and this was after I had my first child and I was pregnant with my second, which I miscarried at 5 months, so I never got to have another kid. But I noticed that when I was large, it seemed like people didn't notice me. They just would not, it was like invisible. So it was interesting because I hadn't felt that before, and I'm an observer. I notice things, like oh, that's interesting, and so whatever. But your body is so intelligent. It knows what it needs, and it knows what it likes. And you are meant to pay attention to how your body responds to certain foods, okay? So, that junk food that you think, it tastes so good and whatever, your body actually is not meant to have it, and it doesn't respond well to it. So if you wean that out of your diet, you'll find that your weight won't be a problem anymore, and also you'll feel better. You'll have more energy, and you'll just feel alive. Now, a lot of people are not a lot. There are people who are insomniacs, so that it's like their brain can't rest at night, so it's like wide awake. So I recommend to people like that, learn to meditate. So learn to slow down your conscious mind to about the rate of your subconscious mind. Shh, nice and low down here. Stop. Don't drink alcohol. Alcohol, some people think that, oh yeah, it's great, I just pass out or whatever, but your brain actually doesn't get the rest that it needs, and it is not as, you don't have as deep a sleep as you do when you haven't drank alcohol. And the other thing is, cut out the caffeine, or maybe have 1 cup of coffee in the morning or 1 cup of tea. But if you'll find that if you cut out those, you will sleep better and deeper, and you'll feel less tired. So that's for your brain health, your body, and for optimal rest. So meditation, cut out most of your caffeine, and stop drinking alcohol. And I noticed that, sorry, there's mosquitoes out right now. A lot of people drink, and they couldn't imagine not drinking. And I've been in places where, I'm the odd person out because I don't drink alcohol before I used to, but I don't even miss it, and I sleep way better. I notice if I have a glass or 2 of wine, I don't sleep through the night. So just pay attention to what your body is telling you and what your mind is telling you. So your mind is, I love talking about mind because I learned a lot about it when I took my hypnotherapy course, and of course working with people. So your mind is primarily made up of your subconscious mind. So your subconscious mind governs about 90% of everything you do and everything you are. And your conscious mind, your waking mind, is only about 10%. So you have to understand that a lot of the things that you do, if you do something, if you say one thing and do another, it means that your conscious and subconscious mind aren't aligned. So they're like this, right? So if you take the time to meditate and stay awake, because sometimes people pass out when they meditate, and the reason for that is there's 2 reasons. One, You may not be allowed to see what is going on. That sounds weird, but it's true. And two, you go into this deep healing mode where you're conscious, but it's like you pass out. And so then whatever your body and your mind needs to shift, it can do that during that meditation time. And sometimes when I started different guided meditations, I would find out that I would find that I just passed out. And it's okay. It's okay to pass out, because your mind and body need to go through some deep healing process. So allow it to happen. Now, a lot of people say, when they meditate, oh my God, I can't get my mind to shut up. It's just like chattering and everything. And I tell them, you're meant to let it chatter. You're meant to let all that talk happen. And then when you feel ready, you can direct it, and you can just say, focus. So you can, your focus comes back to center, or you can say centered, and then you can feel like your attention goes right back to center. So you think that in your head, or you can turn to change to look at your breathing, or work with your breathing. So some breathing exercises I do is I'll breathe in through my nose and then out through my mouth. And I imagine I push my breath out my solar plexus. Or you could do that with each chakra. So you could start with the root chakra, then you could go to the sacral, then you could go to the solar plexus, which is about just a little under your belly button, and then go to your heart. And every time you go up to the chakras, imagine you push your breath out that chakra, and you can clean them out that way. So you go root, sacral, solar plexus, heart, throat, third eye, and crown. And then you have a star chakra that's about between 12 and 16 inches above your crown. So you could do that. You could push that out. So that in doing that, that will help your mind focus, so that it's not wandering all over the place. It's not making a shopping list, not thinking of all the things you have to do, not thinking of the people you have to phone, not thinking of like the relationship you have. So it's like when you start to meditate, it's like you're training your brain. You're training your brain to be quiet. You're training your brain to do one thing. You're training your mind to be focused, okay? So if you do that in the morning, especially in the morning, because your mind is empty, that means that when you sleep at night, your conscious mind downloads into your subconscious mind, and then in the morning, it's open, it's an open vessel. So you could do some wonderful manifesting in the morning by making your mind, the focus of your mind, to be very positive, because you haven't interacted it with anyone in the morning, right? You just interacted with yourself. You get up nice and early. I like to sit in a chair. I put on a blindfold. Sometimes I'll put on a guided meditation with earphones, and I cover myself with a blanket because I like to be comfy. So make sure, if you choose to meditate, that you create a quiet, you choose a quiet space. You make it very comfortable for you. You sit with your back supported. So if you like to sit on the floor, you can put your back against the wall, sit on a cushion. Or if you like to sit in a chair, which I do, I sit in a chair. I put a cushion under my feet because my chair back is kind of deep, and then I put a cushion behind my back. So just adjust it, and so you feel nice and comfy. I have a couple masks that, I use for my meditations, and I find that if there's no light coming in through my eyelids, then I go deeper into my meditation. And I mean, I've been meditating for years, like 22 years, and my mind still wanders. So it's not very disciplined all the time, because there's lots going on up there. But I'm not gonna say if, when you make meditation a practice, it's like you're rewarding your mind, and you're learning how to listen to yourself and what you like and what you want. And you'll find that if you have some things to deal with, they'll come into your mind, and then you can just, put them aside and just really focus on what it is you want to create in your life. And sometimes, I think this is a big reward for meditating. You get, you could either get downloads from your guides, from like the Ascended Masters are saying, like from your Ascended Masters, because most people have some, they're saying highfalutin guides to guide them, and they say that people on this planet right now are not listening very well. And I know that a lot of people are really struggling right now. Like, I have been there myself, and I feel like it's something that you do if you're going through extreme and immense growth, and you'll have some things handed to you that, thinking, oh, why me? Why is this happening to me? Well, first of all, a friend of mine and myself, we always say, well, you wrote this, right? Because before we were born, you decide what it is you're going to do throughout your life, and you hit a certain age, and then something is handed to you. It's because you handed it to yourself. And so when circumstances come up in your life that you don't understand, it can help you to meditate to see, what is this about? Why is this happening to me? How am I playing a part in it? And you are meant to solve the problem. And I said to this one older gentleman, you are the problem and you are the solution, because he kept telling me the same thing kept happening to him over and over, and he was reacting the same way, and he was being frustrated with the results. But the results will never change if you keep doing the same thing over and over. So, example, I resigned from my teaching job after I went back after my mat leave. I went back to teaching, and I found that my heart just didn't belong in the schools anymore. And I kept trying to go back for years, and it just never felt right. So very recently, I decided, about a year ago, that I wouldn't do that anymore. And when that urge came up again to, go back to a school, I felt, no, because I'm not happy there. I'm not enjoying it. So the universe is very abundant when you're going in the path you chose before you were born. And if you're not on the right path, you will find roadblocks and obstacles will be presented to you. And then using your mind in a meditation, you can investigate, what is this about? Why is this happening? How can I change what I'm doing so that I can have better results, excellent results? And I meant to talk about your emotions and your feelings. So Dr. Joe Dispenza, he's one of my favorite people to listen to for his wisdom and his knowledge and his guided meditations and what he leads people through. So he says that we're addicted to our negative emotions. So it's kind of like we have this wiring in our brain that we have gone through these experiences and we have these negative emotions attached to them, and so it keeps us saying, oh, nothing ever works out for me, or oh, I'm always having money problems. And so with this, and those are affirmations, right? So if we keep saying the same thing and it's negative, we're going to keep getting those negative results. And let me tell you, I have been there, and it can be very difficult to rewire your brain. So how can you do it? Well, one, you can meditate. You can listen to guided meditations that help you acquire the means to rewire your circuitry in your brain so you're no longer addicted to negative emotions. Now, so how do you get to the positive emotions? Well, I always tell people, think about something that makes you feel really good. So today when I went out and did my errands, I was looking at people differently, and I attribute this to listening to Dr. Joe's, I think it's called Activating the Pineal Gland, that meditation. I listen to it when I wake up in the morning. I've been waking up at 4 o'clock, so I get out of bed and I listen to meditation. Sometimes I go back to sleep and sometimes I don't. But what that does is you bring your awareness from your root chakra and the lower chakras, and you hold this, you squeeze your perineum. Okay, so that's down in your root chakra. You squeeze it, and as you breathe in through your nose, you draw your breath up through all your chakras until you rest it right up here. And when you do it right, you'll feel the pressure up there. And what that does is it takes your energy out of survival mode and it brings it into creative mode, and it also brings it into the quantum field, and it also makes you a magnet for the possibilities that you want to create in your life. Now, in his book, Becoming Supernatural, he talks about writing out on a piece of paper a letter, and then you put two little squiggly circles around it, and then you put lines outside of that letter. So say if you want a new job, you'd put the letter J on there, and then you'd list on the left side of the paper what qualities you want in that job. So it could be something like to make unlimited income, to always have control over what you do, to do what you love, and then you specifically list what it is that you're good at or what you want to do. Okay, so that's the active part. And then on the other side of the paper, on the right hand side, which your right hand side is over here, you write the emotions that are associated with. So if you've ever been in a job that you absolutely loved and couldn't imagine doing anything else, think of how it made you feel. Did it make you feel happy, loving, valued, whatever? So there are always positive emotions on the right hand side. And so as you're meditating and he's leading you through it, you are meant to feel those emotions in your heart space. And when you do that, you actually bring that energy into your life through the entire day. So that's why it's important to do the meditations in the morning. And then, because it brings it into you, it's like you set it up. You set up that antenna. He calls it an antenna. You set up that antenna for the day, and as you go through your day, you notice what things make you feel good. So I get these cryptic messages from Spirit all the time, and they'll give me one word. And it's up to me to figure it out. And I'm like, what the heck? But I do like figuring things out. So it's kind of like a game that we play. So they recently told me this name of something. So I went to, I couldn't figure out, why are they telling me this word? Why are they telling me this word? And it's only one word. So I went driving today and I found that thing that they were telling me about. And guess what? When I got to the place where that thing was, oh my goodness, the energy that thing emoted felt so good. And I because I had driven past it, it's a building, I had driven past it for like over a year and didn't get, but today, after they guided me to look, it felt different, and the energy has shifted, and it felt really good, and it felt new, and it felt hopeful, and it felt like all the things that I love in life, because I love like young and new and hopeful. And that's probably why I like working with kids so much, because many of them haven't been told that they can't do something. So if you guide them in a positive, kind and gentle way, they can experience this fabulous creativity that they love. And because we have creative minds, right? So the conscious mind, and this I learned from Bruce Lipton, the conscious mind is the creative mind. So it's always liking to create. And the subconscious mind is our programmable mind, which if you understand past lives or future lives, then you understand that whatever we've done or will done, it's already happened, it's happening, is programmed in our subconscious mind. So if we do things in a certain way, or if we're really good at a sport, like naturally, it's because we've done it before. Or you know how they have those people who are like these children that are amazing pianists at the age of 5 or whatever? It's because they were concert pianists, or they were some sort of musicians in other lives, and the ability is still there. It's called innate. And if you haven't ever listened to Cryon, you should listen to the channeled messages from Cryon that I think it's Lee Carroll he channels. So those are free on his website, and you can just listen to them. They're 30-minute recordings. And Cryon talks about the innate, how we have this natural ability to do things, and we're meant to do them. So for me, it's innate for me to want to help people, and that's why I was a teacher for such a long time, but also a healer. And now I feel that the healer in me is really inspired. I want to help people, and I do a lot of energy work. I do primarily distance healings now, which for me have been phenomenal. I find that they're even better than my in-person healings, which surprised me, because I had this old mindset that the physical ones were more productive. But I started doing a lot of distance healings because a lot of my clients aren't even anywhere near me. So the time it takes them to drive to me or fly or whatever, they live somewhere else, all we have to do is have a time where we connect, and I can work on them using their energy. And that's the last thing I wanted to talk about, was spirit. So our spirit is always guiding us, our spirit. So we have a super conscious mind that's up there, and then our subconscious mind is, nice and low down here, and then our conscious mind is our waking mind. It's the one that drives our bus all day. And so our super conscious mind it's like our good self that guides us, right? And so our superconscious mind will give us these flashes of insight, and really is the spirit that lies within us. We are created in the likeness of God, and we are God-like if we choose to behave that way, right? So we have to decide, who are we and who do we want to be and what gift do we want to give the world. And, you know, you watching this, you have a gift, and you if you don't know what it is yet, then it's a good idea for you to sit down and think about, what do you love to do? Who do you love to help? How do you love to help? And how is your help received? And I have to tell you, I'm so grateful for my clients who use me regularly for healing sessions for their pets or for their people, and even their houses. Like, I've done some ghost busting in houses. Those are distant sessions, and those are amazing because what I do is I work with the image of the basement, and with that I connect with the energy in the basement, and I can help these stuck souls cross over. And it is amazing, and some people think, how the heck can you do that? Well, I learned a lot from when I did past life regression hypnotherapy, and we do this thing where we look to see if our clients have these lives called stuck lives, where they died and they never left the scene. So we help clear them. And so I also watched this show and watched how the actress in the show, she helped these ghosts cross over. So it gave me an idea to combine them, and so I can talk to the energy of these stuck energies, right, this spirit, and I help them cross over. So, and it's very successful. And then the day after I work with the energies that were stuck in the basement, I check in with them again and I see if they're gone. And sometimes they're 75% gone and there's just 25% to let go, and sometimes it's like 90% gone and there's 10% residual left, and so I help cross them over. And those energies, I'm not scared of them. I tell people, if you're scared of that, it means that you've been watching too much TV, because TV, the shows help program our minds thinking, oh my goodness, this goes to my house, is going to do something bad. It's actually not really. I haven't ever experienced ghosts doing bad things. Like, sometimes they'll do weird things, like move things around in the house, or like I bought a lottery ticket the other day, just a scratchy one, and I put it in my purse and then I went to get something at the police station, and today I remembered, I have that lottery ticket in my purse, and it's gone. So I know it's going to show up somewhere. I just don't know where it's going to show up, but it's like someone's showing me these little tricky, weird things, and they're just trying to get my attention. So your spirit is amazing, and your spirit will guide you in terms of what you're meant to do in your life. And I found throughout my life that if I paid attention to how certain things felt, how certain buildings felt, and how people made me feel, and the ones that made me feel good and light and loved, those are the ones I talk to. Those are the ones I deal with. Those are the places I go to. And if I feel the reverse, I tend to stay away from them, because I can feel it in my solar plexus, how that energy of that building feels, how that energy of that person feels. And sometimes, I do get drained from buildings or from people. And so here's my little trick for you. I'm giving you a free gift today. So, you probably have heard of like making, it's like a cosmic egg, and you could put that around like under your feet and around your head. And so it's like you have this cosmic egg that surrounds you. So you could do that just as protection. And not everybody has to do this, but some people who are very, very energetically sensitive, like I have been lately, I have to do it because I get busy and I forget. I'm talking to people or I'm doing something for my business and I forget that, and then it's like, I go home and I feel so drained. So this is my favorite thing. So a pyramid, what a pyramid looks like. I imagine that I put a pyramid around my body, so the base of the pyramid is under my feet, and then the point is over my head, and I make sure that the point is closed, and it's like I imagine that it's like quartz crystal and it's around my body. And let me tell you, that is like the strongest energetic protection I've ever had, because I had to go to some meetings in this building recently, and I found that when I left, I had to go home. I had to like meditate or lay down and put my hands on my solar plexus, or I even had a really big, huge nap. Then after that, I thought, I forgot when I go into that space that until I learn how to manage it, I just need to do that pyramid of protection. And then I did that the last time I went there, and I was fine. So that's just a little gift for you. And I thank you so much for watching and subscribing. And yeah, enjoy your life.